So people on Twitter are back at it again being racist. And for what you may ask, well, let me tell you. You know that new prequel Lord of the Rings TV show, Rings of Power? Yeah, apparently there'll be at least one person of color appearing in it. I know, right? Absolutely terrifying. At least to these pathetic souls it is. But let's dive a little deeper into this. Also, I absolutely need to preface this by saying massive trigger warning. Some of these comments are just downright racist, and I know that can be hard for people to see because, well, it should be hard to see. Racism really should have no place in our society, and the fact that there are still people like this blows my mind, and it makes me realize that we really haven't gotten very far. But anyways, the official Twitter account for the new Amazon Lord of the Rings TV show Rings of Power tweeted out a series of promo posters for the show, each showcasing a different character, but we don't know their names and we can't see their faces. There are these descriptive texts that just describe what's going on, but essentially there's enough information here that fans can start theorizing and trying to figure out who these characters are, and I think it's pretty cool. And when I say a series of posters, I mean a lot. There's a lot of them. They show people who look like mighty elves, like beggars, like wanderers, like scholars, like kings, like evil people. And then there's one poster that depicts someone with brown skin color. And I think you know where this is going. The comments on this post are infested with racism, and people saying that this show is already ruined, all because one poster has a person of color on it, out of dozens of posters. It's just one person with a darker skin color, and still people are mad about it. And let me just show you some of these, because some of them are funny and some of them I just can't believe. Why are they black? There's no black people in Lord of the Rings. Okay. This will be unwatchable. Then don't watch it, and shut up about it. There are also the people saying that the Lord of the Rings was based on medieval Anglo-Saxon culture, so black people being there ruins the realistic nature of Middle-earth. May I just quickly say, as someone who has some knowledge on medieval Europe, there were definitely way more people of color in Western Europe during these times than dragons and orcs. I'm just saying. Then we have the people posting cringy memes, like this one which just reminds me of every anti-SJW Reddit post back in 2016. This shit was funny years ago, but now all it is divisive and unnecessary. There are also the people who post memes of Ryan Gosling being cast as Martin Luther King Jr., which really just shows that this person has no idea what the difference between blackwashing and just casting a black person would actually be. Because I'll tell you right now, this certainly ain't even close to being blackwashing. Listen, some of these memes by themselves could be funny, like Ryan Gosling playing Martin Luther King Jr., because that's not too far from the actual whitewashing that has happened in the past. But it's just the use of the meme that's the problem. Then there's also this one. Honestly, can't imagine being this ignorant. Like, there really must be no awareness of the world around them whatsoever. Memes are supposed to be funny, but this is just a way of spreading hateful opinions. But moving on, there are also a lot of funny back and forths between people, like this one. Tolkien don't write black characters on his books. We get it, it ruins your day to see black people. Wrong. And this one, black? In Tolkien's world? Wizards, goblins, dragons, okay, but black people? So unrealistic. Yes, I believe in wizards and dwarves, but a black person just shattered the suspension of disbelief. I really don't know why people are getting so angry about this. Although very, very limited and quite negatively portrayed, there have been people of color in the Middle-earth movies before, like the Easterlings or some of the extras in the Hobbit movies. But even if there wasn't any previous inclusion of people of different skin colors, that doesn't mean it should stay that way. Listen, Tolkien was from a different time than the one we live in now. Back when Tolkien wrote The Lord of the Rings, black representation in media really wasn't a thing, except for incredibly stereotypical and prejudiced portrayals. A lot of people accuse Tolkien of being racist, and I don't personally know much about these arguments, but the way I see it, a lot of people were racist back then. At least according to how we define racism today. And that was the norm in a lot of places. But times change. Our outlooks on race have changed drastically compared to a century ago, even 50 years ago, even 10 years ago. Nowadays, we're trying to normalize people of color being prominent in media because they represent a massive portion of the world's population. And because we're all human beings who just look different. We're trying to normalize the idea that the color of one's skin doesn't at all determine someone's worth. It really shouldn't matter. And I thought we were mostly getting there, but comments like these just remind us that there's still so far to go. However, people like these are luckily a dying breed. It's a slow process, but at least we're making progress. And I can gladly inform you that there are also some level-headed people in the comments who are calling out these people, so don't lose all hope yet. The racists shall not pass. For example, this meme was quite funny. I also really liked this comment of someone saying, "Hot take, but the story about different peoples and races putting aside their grudges and differences to unite against a great corruptive evil that preys on the weakness of division may actually work perfectly fine with people of color in it, that aren't the pirates or elephant riders." Yep. Great point. A lot of these people commenting don't even understand one of the main themes of the story they apparently love. Or perhaps they understand it, they just don't care about it. But then they claim to speak for Tolkien. Listen, if you really don't want black people in Lord of the Rings, then just don't watch this new show. Go back into your bubble, watch the original movies, keep being racist in the safe confines of your home. As long as you leave the rest of us who actually want to watch this show or who just want to see the world progress, as long as you leave us alone. But listen, the Lord of the Rings are my favorite movies of all time. I've watched them throughout my entire life. I've learned so much from them. They've helped me through some of the worst times of my life, and they've been there for me during the happiest times of my life. The sole reason I don't talk about them endlessly on this channel is that I don't think I can ever make a video that would perfectly encapsulate my love for these movies. And any failed attempt to do so from my part would be a crime. So trust me when I say that I understand people being nervous for this show. I get it. I'm nervous about it too. I have a lot of personal stakes in this show, and there's a chance that it will suck. There's a chance it'll never reach a sliver of what Lord of the Rings is. It could be insultingly bad, but the point is, we don't know yet. The only way for us to know whether or not it'll actually be good or bad is to watch it when it comes out. I feel like nowadays too much of the internet revolves around getting angry about things that haven't even happened yet. We talked about this in my last video with Jeremy saying that the Halo series will probably be woke and just like The Last Jedi. What good will come from this? All that really ends up happening is these movies, games, or TV shows getting a shit ton of negative press, which can definitely make the producers and the creators nervous or start to meddle with things to please the crowd. This happened with The Rise of Skywalker, and guess what happened? It pissed off those same angry people who were never going to be satisfied no matter what the movie turned out to be, and it pissed off a lot of the fans who actually did like the direction the movies were going. What good will actually come from being hateful, pessimistic, and toxic before these pieces of media have even come out? And this doesn't mean that I'm saying to not talk about this show before it comes out, to not analyze the tidbits they give us, because that's part of the fun. We're supposed to talk about the pictures they're releasing, we're supposed to theorize, we're absolutely allowed to look at the costumes and the feel of the images and see if we think it's the right direction or not. But as long as we do it like a fandom who are excited for this series, want the best for it, as long as we respect each other and aren't being racist or hateful, you can absolutely not be excited for this series. You can be nervous as hell, and you can make claims based on what we've been given so far. But this behavior from these so-called fans is utterly disgusting. These people act like black people and white people are two completely separate races and human beings, but we're all just humans, and some of us have different skin colors. Why does the fact that someone with non-white skin tones being in this new show matter whatsoever? This is not just a violation of human decency, it's also a violation of the original messages of the movies and books we all love. But anyways, that's all I had for today. There were still a lot of comments that I didn't highlight, and honestly, I'm so sick and tired of people acting like this. And it's probably not healthy for anyone to surround themselves with this much negativity all the time, even if for good reasons like us. But it is, however, important to call out toxic behavior like this because we need to take a stance against racism and any other kind of discrimination. But yeah, as always, let me know your thoughts on this down in the description. Join our Discord if you haven't already. It's a lot of fun over there. Check out my Patreon if you want to further support the channel. But other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe and peace out.